Let me see if Kamla is ready for me. I'm going to be connecting with her. Remember, guys, how you picture entertainment over there in Jamaica. Big respect and thanks, Johan. You have always, you know what I mean, kept your promise, and I appreciate that. Big respect to the VVL family. Y'all can go right about now and send me a friend request on the page. So therefore, we can pretty much just, you know, keep the link, and you can come back here every Saturday. Trust me, entertainment on top of entertainment is entertaining. You know what I mean? I talk the things them I don't really care. Connecting right now with my very special guest, Kamla. Let's see if she'll be in the building. We're going to be talking about her papaya leaf juice and also why was she banned from entering the ward at UWI. So Kamla, I hope that you're ready for me. Kamla, I see you and I know that you're getting ready. Kamla, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
I am grateful. I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. Miss Kamla Forbes. All right. So you're a physiotherapist slash a weight management consultant. So you're always health conscious. So it is.
Yeah.
Tilt your camera down a little bit for me. Just tilt down a little bit for me, because you have a little bit too much headroom. I don't want to give you too much work, but I want to make sure that you're well fit in the frame. Yeah. That's okay. Much better now. All right. So you're always health conscious, and so this is not new to you, where you're always trying to make sure that you live on the healthy side.
No, it's not.
Not right. All right. So first thing first, the controversial post and the picture that was put up at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Why did they do that in the first place?
Well, you see, that's it now. The Thursday before, which was the day before my birthday, so it would have been the 19th. A father called me from University Hospital. His son was admitted on the ward, and actually when he called me, I was on my way to Linston to pick up some papaya leaves that somebody had promised me. That gentleman called me 5 times for the day. You understand? Mm-hmm. I promised him that I would get some to him later that day. So when I went there in the evening, I tried calling him on the phone, but he wasn't answering the phone. Mm-hmm. Right? So I go in as usual, because I mean, once you are going to University Hospital to look for a specific patient, it's no issue. You understand? The pediatric ward is a little bit more secure in that you have to give your name. It's more, you have a guard there. You understand? My kids were admitted there for last year for 2 weeks, basically, so I know the system. Anyway, I went to the gentleman. I saw him. He realized that I was trying to call him. I gave him the juice. There was another child as well that was actually, the 2 boys were very, very good friends, and they got sick at the same time and were on the ward. So I was just talking to I think they both got to Woolman's boys or something like that. So I was talking to them in general. I wasn't there for 5 minutes. When I was leaving, I was talking to them, and the matron who wears this blue uniform came to me and asked to speak to me outside. So she said to me, you know, she would like for me to desist distributing papaya leaf juice on the ward. So I said, I'm not distributing it. I was called by a specific parent to deliver it to him. I came to a specific parent. Anyway, the long and short of it is, she was, oh, well, Professor Christie. I said, well, you need to take that up with the parents and not me, because if the person didn't call me, I wouldn't be here. I'm not walking up and down on your wards offering people papaya leaf juice. I have my post up, and people seek me out to get it. The only reason why I even came in on the ward is because I couldn't get the gentleman on the phone, because normally I call them and they come out to me. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I was very surprised when 2 days later another parent messaged me that he saw my picture up on the wall. This parent is somebody also who called me, and incidentally he met me outside. You understand? And a little bit after he went back in, I left. He said, oh, my picture is up on the wall. So I was like, okay, this is shocking. I didn't have any, first of all, from that incident, I've not been back on the ward. I didn't intend to, because as I said, normally how I act is that people contact me, either through my inbox on my Facebook page, or they call me if they can't get my number. And we arrange for them to get it, so I don't walk up and down and barter this thing, or you understand, it's totally free. I give it away freely to whoever wants it. So that's really it.
All right. So a lot of people are concerned about the papaya leaf juice conflicting with medications being given by doctors to the virus carrying victims. How true is that?
First of all, there is no treatment for dengue, and that's something that we need to put out there. I'm very happy that we have this opportunity to talk about it. Dengue is a virus. Viruses have no cure. They have to just pass out. You have to get over a virus over time. The only thing you treat dengue with is Cetamol, Panadol, whatever, acetaminophen, and fluids, IV fluids, just fluids, because you want to encourage the passing of urine, which will help you to get over the virus quicker. You want to keep the body hydrated. All that you go to the hospital for when you have dengue is IV fluids and Panadol, right? And
okay.
as I said to you, I've been admitted for dengue some 20 years ago. My 3 children had it. The reason why I started with this whole dengue awareness campaign is because last year, in November 2018, when my 3 children were admitted for it, the government was telling me that there is no dengue outbreak. You understand? When dengue, I was seeing dengue, my kids were sick, children were dying, and I mean, they were like, oh, it's endemic, it's not an outbreak. This is normal, dengue is always here. So I did a lot of work in bringing awareness to the fact that this dengue is here and it is killing people. You understand?
Because hold on. Before we jump the gun and reach to whether or not there was a conflict, whether dengue was in Jamaica or not, let's stick to the papaya juice. So you're saying that there's certain medications that have been administered by the hospitals. How different is the papaya juice from that, though? Because you admitted that there's no cure for it, but how effective is the papaya juice?
Let's start with the papaya juice. Under Jamaican laws, papaya leaf juice is not considered a drug. It's considered a food, right? So if you understand how the pharmaceutical society works, and I was a pharmaceutical rep in Jamaica for 10 years, so I understand pharmacoregulation to a T. I used to eat, sleep, and breathe it. You understand? You have different categories of food and drugs, and papaya leaf is a food. It's not been classified as a drug anywhere in the world for that matter, right? No, the thing is, it's well researched. A doctor is the person who told me about this when my children had it and instructed me how to use it for my children, right? She has been actually public with it. Her name is Dr. Janice Simmons Bishop. She also has come public about it because not only is she a medical doctor trained at University of the West Indies, she's also a doctor of naturopathic medicine. She is one of the only Jamaicans who is uniquely trained in naturopathic medicine as well as conventional medicine. You understand? Now, apart from that, papaya leaf has been studied. There are over 3,000 medical citations about papaya leaf. So it's well researched. It's just that Jamaica, as usual, we're behind on the research and it doesn't take much. If you go on Google, the first article that comes up about the use of papaya leaf in the treatment of dengue is a British Medical Journal article. You understand? It has been well researched. It has been well documented. It has been studied in terms of toxicity, in terms of drug interactions. The only known drug interaction that the papaya leaf has is with what we call a class of medications that we call anticoagulants, which are drugs that thin the blood. Like, for instance, you have warfarin and heparin, and even aspirin to a lesser extent. You cannot give these medications when somebody has dengue because dengue already anticoagulates the blood. So you would never give these drugs. So the only drugs that are contraindicated when using papaya leaf juice, you cannot use it at all with dengue.
So it is pretty much a propaganda then, or maybe it's false information that it will conflict with the medication given by the hospitals?
It's a propaganda because there is no, first of all, number one, dengue is not treated with any medication other than Panadol. That's number one, or Cetamol, whichever. Acetaminophen is a generic name.
Right.
There is nothing else that you can treat dengue with. If the doctor maybe has a patient on some antibiotic, I don't even understand now what is this new thing with treating. I see a lot of patients complaining that they're getting antibiotics for dengue, and I'm saying, I mean, how do you treat dengue with antibiotics? Antibiotics treat bacteria. Dengue is a virus, and it's just like, I don't know. It's so confusing. I think that a lot people, Jamaican people, need to do their own research, right? First of all, we have something called drug resistance where antibiotics are concerned. And when you overprescribe antibiotics, like when you prescribe it for a virus which it cannot treat, you expose patients to drug resistance. So when you actually do need an antibiotic, when you have a bacterial infection like MRSA or something like that, you know, this very resistant Staphylococcus aureus that is killing off people all over the world. You can't find any antibiotic to treat it because they're using antibiotics for things like dengue, which can't treat you can't treat it with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's about education. Right now, I'm not, as I said, I'm not a lay person. Just get up off of the road
and pick some papaya leaf, pick some leaves and blend it up and then put it in the bottle.
I'm not, right? The papaya leaf remedy was told to me by a doctor, right? That she could have said it to any parent, any person, but as a parent, and this is what I want to implore Jamaicans to understand that the responsibility of your child is yours. When your child dies from dengue fever, it's just a statistic to these medical professionals or whoever that's treating them. If you ask them 2 weeks time, what the name of the people where they dead last week, them have to think long and hard. You're the one who is forever emotionally scarred and can't sleep because you lost your child. I have a friend of mine whose child died last year. This time, actually, she died a little before Christmas from dengue fever. And this woman called me on Christmas Day hollering because really and truly, she does not, it's been a year since her 3-year-old has died. And she does not know how to cope with it. Now, this Christmas alone, we can count. I know of at least 30 children that died in the month of November alone. I post them on my page, right? I post them on my page, so I know about them. You understand? So I heard you, I was listening to your live all along, and I hear this figure about 44. You can go through my page, and you will realize that there are a lot more than 44 people dead from dengue. You understand? Because I even have one to post right now that I haven't posted as yet.
40, what is more than what? Well, the numbers haven't been updated since, based on where I got my information from. The numbers haven't been updated, so I have no doubt that the numbers are increasing as we go. What I want to ask,
I call it the chikungunya trick, right? Remember when there was a chikungunya outbreak, we used to hear about suspected versus confirmed. Unless the patient did a blood test to confirm that yes, I have dengue, that person will die without a confirmation that they have dengue. That the dengue testing kit is unavailable in the public health sector. So if you go to the hospital with dengue, they can't test you to see if you have dengue or not. They're gonna send you to do it privately. And if you don't have the $4,500 to $6,000 to do it, you will die and you not will know what you die from.
Wow. All right. Let's talk about the part being played by the government. Do you think that they're turning a blind eye, or do you think that they're overextended? Do you think that they're doing enough to fix this dengue problem?
I don't think that they're doing enough. And this is why people say I'm politicizing it. But let me tell you something. When you have children, like my children, as I said to you, I started this dengue awareness campaign because my 3 children were struck with dengue simultaneously. My 2 younger ones were admitted on the same ward at the same time, and as soon as they were discharged, my eldest child was admitted, and his blood platelets fell to the level where me sit down and bawl because I thought he was going to die. You have to be confronted with that situation to understand the kind of crisis that we're in. And what is happening is that, first of all, when this happened, I remember tweeting every single radio station. I was on every media available talking about this thing. And the articulate minority over on Twitter claimed that I was being political because dengue is endemic to Jamaica and there was no outbreak. That's what I was told a year ago, and at that time I picked them in at the hospital and they from it. And my kids were not the only ones. And you know, it hurts me because it has taken 1 full year. It's been a year and 1 year right? As a matter of fact, if you remember, I don't know if you know about this, but Patricia K. Aarons, who is a newscaster, I think she's on Nationwide now. Her stepson died from dengue in January 2018. Dengue been killing kids from January last year. Right. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years.
Right.
And we are still not at the level that, hey, we are grappling with this thing. I have made recommendations upon recommendations. And you see, whenever I go on a post and I tag the minister, I tag him whenever I'm making a recommendation, so I know him see, because he's a PR expert, right? He's very, very social media savvy, and him doing own social media. I said to him months ago, this problem is bigger than us. Cuba is 90 miles away. When Ebola was a problem in Africa, Sierra Leone and Nigeria, part of Nigeria, the Cubans went there and got it under control. And Cuba is 90 miles away from us. And we are grappling with this epidemic that is killing more Jamaicans. Okay, the mortality rate of dengue is higher in Jamaica than anywhere else in the region, meaning more people are dying from dengue per capita than anywhere else. So we have a rate now of 1 in 140 that's the death rate, whereas the average death rate is 1 in 500 and odd.
Wow, that's a lot though. That's a lot.
Exactly.
All right, I want to ask you, what would you suggest, apart from, because after you have caught the virus from these mosquitoes, airborne mosquitoes, there's no cure. So the papaya juice leaf comes post, and that's one aspect of it. What are some of the ways in which we can avoid being affected in terms of, you know, on a larger scale, not just the grassroots scale, but on a larger scale from a ministerial point of view?
All right. Now, you see, it's so funny. I was listening, as I said, I was on the live listening to it when you start. And I heard the gentleman from New Haven telling you about the mosquito and the fact that they bite you, you don't even know that you're bitten. And what I want to point out to you, Andrew, because you were talking about if my neighbor's yard is dirty. The entire Jamaica is like a neighbor's bushy yard. That's what you need to understand.
Right.
Remember, remember that we're called the land of wood and water, you know. Understand? Because our topography everywhere in Jamaica is woodlands, every unused piece of land full of bush.
Right.
You understand? So that's the ideal breeding place for this mosquito. Oh, somebody in Portmore going to avoid being bitten by a mosquito when they're built on top of a swamp.
But I mean, Kamla, you have stuff like say for example, like in the United States, and I'm sorry to compare the United States to Jamaica, of course, but almost every house has a screen in terms of the windows and the doors. We know this, so why not get proactive and get that? Repellents. We use repellents. We use sunscreen.
You can use repellents, fine, but I guarantee you, every week I go Price Mart, I buy repellent and mosquitoes still bite me. Fine away. You understand?
Okay.
And the thing is, the only reason why I don't have it this time is because the strain that is here obviously is the same strain I had 20 years ago. Remember when Biederman did have dengue 20 years ago, sing about it? That's the same time I had it. And that strain was just as bad as what is going on now. It's just that we had less deaths at that time. You understand? Because I had hemorrhagic dengue back in the day. You understand? So I know what people are going through.
You mentioned something that's very important. We're having more deaths now than back then.
Yeah.
What's the difference between now and then, though? I know we're more advanced.
But the thing is, first of all, we were late to jump. We were late out of the starting block, because when we had this epidemic going on, killing people, we had our heads in the sand. Nobody was willing to admit that there was a problem, and it ballooned. Because the thing is, and another thing is, you have a lot of immigrants in Jamaica now, right? A lot more from Asia, right? And not just Chinese, Indians, everybody. And they're coming with their strains. And also, Andrew, remember that we're just getting over a chikungunya outbreak, a Zika outbreak. And these things are still, like me now, me have Zika, me have all of them in my blood, because me get all of them. Wow. You understand?
Wow.
But they weaken our immune system over a period of time. Because chikungunya, for instance, chickpea, stays in your blood, then say it stays in your blood for years. You understand? So if we already have weakened immune system, when we were getting dengue 20 years ago, we never know about chickpea and Zika and them things then.
Right.
But
right.
a significant portion of our population have chickpea and Zika in our bloodstream. And so if we put this dengue on it now, it's a recipe for disaster, which is what is happening.
All right, stick a pin. I'm jumping over to the comments right now. Our friend Charles says it's a deliberate withholding of information to avoid panic, but have the exact opposite effect. That's one point that we're going to talk about when we come back. Sylvia says, in terms of being proactive and taking precaution, she says spray the areas, net, zappers, repellents, debushing, get rid of waste waters, wear proper clothing, early medical testing. Would you agree with Sylvia that Jamaicans need to be more proactive, and also with Charles that the government was trying to withhold information because they didn't want to create panic in the country? I think you should start with the latter first and then move on to.
I was about to say that. Let me address Sylvia first.
Right.
No, as I blog, because I blog about this almost every single day, I could be proactively come more. If I get up and use the bathroom and I sit down on my toilet seat, not to be crude, mosquito on my foot a swarm, right? Because I can tell you something. Mosquitoes are coming up through the drains. That's how skilled they are, right? That's number one. Number two, you could just, if you go outside and there is a pothole, I have tested this. There's a pothole gathering water if you're driving on the road, and you take up that water, mosquito larvae is in that water. You understand? So, yeah, you can protect your environment, but when your kids go to school, what happens? And the school isn't, because now, remember now, who is in charge of the school? The Ministry of Education. And we they're home doing all of these things. When the people then go to school, who is doing the same things that you are telling us to be proactive with at home? Look at New Haven situation where you just talked about. How long was that situation like that?
Right, right.
No matter what those people did, the entire community is a big mosquito breeding site. You understand what I'm saying? So in terms of Sylvia, yeah. Oh, it's nice. My house, I have a concrete yard, right? But guess what? One gully run behind the back of my house, and unless I go and jump down there, because the gully not dirty, but the gully have pothole, and the rain fall today, so that means guess what? Water in there,
right?
And that water is going to now breed mosquitoes,
right?
And what I could have called NWA or whoever them name, local government to that fool. You understand? They're not gonna come for us. It's now a breeding site. Now, in terms of what Charles said,
right?
No, I've heard that theory that they're trying to protect the tourism industry. And it's something that I personally have given thought to. The fact that they don't want to create this panic because we have to protect the tourism dollars. But at the end of the day, when people are dropped dead every day, left, right, and center, it's bound to come out. It's like Pandora's box. You understand?
Right.
So, basically, the government has cut off them nose despite them face where this is concerned. And I have been a very, very harsh critic of the minister and how he has handled this situation, specifically because there is no protocol. There is no dengue protocol in the public sector, the public health sector. So if you go to a hospital, let's say you go to Bustamante Hospital, they don't have a standardized treatment plan for dengue. If you go to Spanish Town, it's something totally different. So for instance, Bustamante Hospital, when you take your child, I'm going to give you one case what happened last week. A father called me. His child was sick. He live he don't live in Kingston, right? He live up in some rural district in St. Andrew on Blue Mountain side. Now he had to come down and take his child to Children's, where we spent the better part of an entire day, only to be sent home with his child, right? He did the blood test. He said to me, boy, I don't know what to do because the child is weak, the child is listless. The blood test, when they did the blood work, them say, because most Jamaica call it pallet. Them say, mums, them say the pallet reached 110 and it's supposed to be 150. What am I supposed to do? I said, boy, daddy, I would not take that child up back to that mountain top enough because he can super sick in the night and you're stranded up there with him, it's a dead pick me up on your hand. Carry him go on a university hospital. When him got to university hospital, the child was immediately admitted. You know what that means? There is no standardized protocol.
Right,
because what
right.
Bustamante did not admit him for, you admitted him for.
Right. I get
child was admitted at UA hospital for a week. Bustamante sent that child home. Now you think back to that politician, Carrie Douglas, who her child was sent out the door. A sick child was sent out the door. And she went berserk. Like I know I would. You understand? And then you realize that we have a problem in our health sector because there is no standardized policy. You sending home a child with a roasting fever, listless, whatever, with parents who have no medical training. This is why we're having so many deaths.
But
you understand?
But though, Kamala,
I'm going to give you one more case.
Okay.
Today, I was called by a friend of mine in off Seaward Drive. Her significant other wanted the juice because he was sick. When I went to their house, Andrew, and I kid you not, this gentleman was sitting in his car. He had a bloody toilet paper. He started bleed. He was bleeding. In the hospital and they sent him home. The man is bleeding. He want the papaya juice. I said, listen to me, gentleman. If you don't go to the hospital today, they are dead because your platelets are so low, you are bleeding. And he was sent home. That is what is happening here now. You understand? So now, if the normal lay person does not understand that if you start bleeding through your skin, your nose, wherever, you are very, very sick, you need to go to the hospital. Remember, dengue is a hemorrhagic disease. Dengue, the complication of dengue fever is dengue hemorrhagic fever and dengue shock syndrome. Dengue hemorrhagic fever means you are bleeding from places because your blood is no longer clotting. You are bleeding all over. You're bleeding from wherever you can bleed from. The nose is normally the first place. But then it gets worse and worse until you end up in shock and you die. So if you start bleeding, that's a medical emergency. And nose bleeding, somebody with dengue is a medical emergency.
But though, Kamala, I mean, if there's no cure and if only they're treating it with regular aspirin, I mean, it's 6 of one half dozen of the other if they keep them or send them home.
No, because you need in most of these people you need IV fluids, and you can't stay home and put in an IV in yourself. This is why
they get the papaya juice.
No, listen, and I want to be absolutely clear. Papaya juice is not an alternative for seeking medical treatment. You got to go to the doctor if you have dengue fever. You have to go to the doctor. This is and I say this on all my life. I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a medical doctor. And papaya leaf, as I said, the dengue virus has no cure. Papaya leaf juice has been proven to elevate the platelet levels in the blood. It's the platelets that dengue kills that makes you bleed. But papaya leaf juice has been found to increase platelet counts, right? That's how the papaya leaf juice works. Now, if you need IV fluid, for instance, because you are when you have dengue and your platelets start to drop, you're having interstitial bleeding, all sorts of bleeding inside. You're losing fluids. You understand? You are losing fluids. Some people are vomiting. Some people have diarrhea. You will get dehydrated, and then you're basically going to your entire body. You're going to end up with electrolyte imbalances, and that's gonna cause another complication. Your liver going to start. You're gonna start having issues with your liver, meaning the enzymes, your liver function is going to be altered. All of these things are complications of dengue. And you will need hospitalization for these things. You understand? So it's not a situation. And I mean, listen to me. Dengue hemorrhagic fever is in the same class of diseases as Ebola, you know. And we're not taking it seriously. We are the ones that's not taking it seriously. But if you go in any journal and you look at the class of diseases and you look at the hemorrhagic fevers, dengue is right up there beside Ebola. So if Ebola was here, is this how we would handle it? All of it would have dead.
I mean, you mentioned something earlier about visitors, especially from Asia, and I'm starting to wonder if this might sound a little bit political, and I know I might get a lot of slaps for this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's something behind this new strain. I wouldn't be surprised.
The thing about it, is remember there are 4 strains of dengue, right? Some are worse than others. I personally don't know if we have been exposed to all the strains before, but what I do know is that dengue is synonymous with Asia. You understand?
No, but this is the worst. But hold on, Kamla, this is the worst one yet, though.
Yes, this is the worst
right.
one to hit Jamaica. And as I said, I normally everything will come from me catch it. Everything. I may not catch this dengue yet, so I know the only reason why I may never catch it is because I had it already. More than likely. Because everything, I got chickpea, I got Zika, I got measles, you name it, I had it. Chicken pox, rubella, pink eye.
Wow.
From it comes from the catching it.
Wow.
And I have not gotten this dengue. Wow. I figured because this particular strain, I had it already like in the 98, 99 outbreak. However, Andrew, as I said to you, we are now contending with Zika and chickpea in the bloodstream too. So that is our recipe. Imagine we have all of them in the bloodstream one time.
I get you.
Because it's very, very bad. And then there is also, remember H1N1 was killing some people last year. Alan Magnus's wife died from H1N1. That is also a complication because that flu is around. It might not affect all of us badly, but it did it too. You understand? I just don't think the ministry is doing enough to inform us. Number one, yes, your OG dengue, this dengue ad on the radio getting really annoying now. But when you hear that dengue ad, all it is speaking to is wearing the same thing, the same preventative measure. Okay, we've gone past prevention now. Everybody have it. What next? We have it already. Everybody is affected by it. So make a move past prevention now. How do you prevent this? How do you reduce the mortality of dengue?
The thing is, no, I've been sent a video that was on primetime news where I think the government is planning, the ministry is planning on releasing over 1 million mosquitoes. Because I watched a video, a friend of mine, same Alex Frass sent me a video of a group of scientists in Singapore that
I saw that video where they opened
that came up with the same idea, and they sent out the male mosquito. So Jamaica, as you say, we're sometimes late out the starter block, but in fact we're getting a little bit closer. So would you now say you would cut some slacks in terms of loosening the noose from the minister?
Start, but I'm waiting with bated breath because I am always very, very, very wary about genetic modification, always. And these are genetically modified mosquitoes. No, I'm remember with Zika what happened with Brazil?
Right. Kamala? Wow.
Sorry about that. I got a call. Sorry about that.
Okay, I thought they flagged your page because it's spitting knowledge. I thought they flagged your page because
if it happens again, I'll just cut the call again. Whenever somebody tries to call me, bounces this off.
All right, no problem. It's social media, and of course she's trying to get rid of that call. I'm speaking with Kamla Forbes, just in case you're just tuning in. Hold on, Kamla, hold on. I know you're back. I'm just giving them an update. So in case you're just tuning in, my name is Anjuval, and this is Val's Views Live, where we discuss current affairs, burning issues and topics, across religion, entertainment, you name it. You can catch me right here every Saturday night. And usually I'll be signing out now, but I think I'll be going a little 5 minutes extra. And I hope that Hype TV will allow me to go 5 minutes over the time, because usually the show is 1 hour. But we have been given so much information that I don't feel like I want to cut the show abruptly. So I want to get 5 more minutes. And Kamla, she's back with us. So in closing, real quick, you're saying that you're just still waiting, anticipating the result.
I'm hoping it works. Because if you remember what happened with the Brazilian experience with Zika, the Zika virus, and recall that the Zika virus in the Brazilian women who were pregnant resulted in their children being born with a condition called microcephaly, where the heads of the babies were small, causing brain damage. Right? Underdeveloped brain mass. No, it never happened anywhere else in the world. there is no other country that this happened. And actually, research is now showing that it had something to do with genetic modification of the mosquitoes, number one, as well as whatever they were using to actually treat the mosquito in the mosquito population. So that's why I'm saying that even though I want this to work, because God knows me tired of mosquito, I mean, every Jamaican reach a point now where we're just sick and tired of mosquito. Mosquito is more deadly than the gunman them in Jamaica now.
Right. But
I'm saying that we
Kamala,
just want it to work.
it's like to me now, what I'm thinking now is this seems as if it's bigger than Jamaica. It is bigger than what's happening in the world. There's some conspiracy. There's something behind it then, if that's the case. Then there must be some source that something is happening, that even you and I killing up ourselves, you bringing in the whole papaya leaf story, you know, what the ministers need to do, what the Ministry of Health needs to be proactive, residents need to be proactive. Something just clicked, a light bulb just went off in my head, and I'm saying to myself like, yo, what if this is bigger than all of us?
Remember, we thought the same thing with Ebola in Africa. Yeah, remember, we had the same theories that Ebola is a man-made disease, and it was actually used in Africa for an experiment. They're actually now very close to developing a vaccine for Ebola. And it has crossed my mind whether the Caribbean is a dengue experiment. You know, the bottom line though is we need to do what the Africans did. The Africans called international health. So why are we not calling for international health? The Africans called international health. The Africans called on the Americans, the Europeans, and the Cubans. People from all over the world went into Africa and ensured that Ebola was no longer a problem. You understand? And every now and then you have little clusters popping up. But generally, Ebola is much less a problem now than what it was before. We have a situation now where we are not even here. We don't even know how many people are dying from this thing.
That's true.
Because I'm sure that even though I post one a day, I mean, last week Monday, my page was hacked last week Monday, and a mother called me at that time to tell me that 2 children had died. You know, the Prime Minister did a tour of the Bustamante Hospital last week Monday, and while he was there, a child died from dengue. Did you know this?
Well, you and I spoke, so you informed me of it.
Right.
But I mean, we can't really.
It's not his fault. I'm not blaming him for that. He can't do anything about this. The bottom line is what I'm saying is that these deaths are so frequent. You understand? I'm sure I don't hear about all of them. And you have people out there who, Lord, one time I put up one of them, when I publicized one of them, and we get a fine piece of tracing from the family. So you have people out there too who are not coming forward to talk when it happens. It's happening though.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a real problem.
All right.
And I don't know.
So what I want to jump at, somebody asked a very, very interesting question. Where are these mosquitoes coming from? I know you can't answer that. You and I can't answer that. And this thing is a plague. So I think they're thinking what we're thinking. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. The Aedes aegypti mosquito, if you realize what the name of that mosquito is, Aedes aegypti, because this mosquito has been around from the beginning of time. This mosquito was identified from when Egypt was the superpower before we were born. You know, long. But this mosquito has also been known to mutate and evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve. So it continuously evolves. You understand? This mosquito is the most deadly animal on the planet. You know?
Yo, you know what's funny?
If you go to the most deadly animal on the planet, it's the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
And it's funny because it's a female mosquito.
Yeah.
So therefore you're gonna breed, and mosquitoes don't really need nothing to get fertilized where it needs a male mosquito to fertilize and to get there.
Exactly. But the bottom line is, I think that, as I said, where I would go if I were the government is to call for international assistance, call in the Cuban them. They have a very good epidemiology program over there. Call them in and make their help with. We can't do this by ourselves. There comes a time where you have to admit that this problem is bigger than you.
And I think that's where the ministry is at now, with getting these 1 million mosquitoes to release across the island. And I think they say, if I'm not misquoting, maybe 5,000 per day. I think is the count that they're going to release 5,000 per day. So therefore, they're saying that don't think that there's more mosquitoes being put out there, but these mosquitoes are to combat the Egyptian mosquitoes.
But in the meantime, how do we manage the thousands of people who present every day to the hospitals, the health center, the private doctors with dengue?
But we can't. There's nothing. But Kamla, there's nothing we can do really. I mean, you know.
Yes, we can. We can do something. First and foremost, the blood bank is short on blood. We have our army of soldiers where we have sit down at checkpoints every day. Some of them poor soul them a doze off. Send them go to the blood bank to donate some blood. Right?
But who tell you? But Kamla, who told you they haven't done that? Who told you that? Do you have hard evidence of that?
Has there been a concerted effort to get the soldiers, the police force, and everybody to donate blood? Have you seen it? I had a blood drive recently, and it wasn't even well attended because I tried to do it on my birthday, which was the Friday before Christmas, and it was really a horrible day, and the blood bank closed early. So I'm planning to do one again in January, late January. The bottom line is though, why are we not coordinating the army to assist? Because what the hospitals lack is manpower. That's why you have all of these lines, right? Why is it that we are not getting more people in the system to help? Instead of have all of these people at the checkpoint looking for whatever. The mosquito killing more. The mosquito now is the deadliest criminal in Jamaica.
All right. Understand? So one, more blood. What's the second, third, and fourth? That they could come up with.
More blood, number one. Number two, more manpower. So if we don't have the manpower, if we don't have the resources, the human resources, we get human resources from Cuba and wherever else in the world who are willing to send me some people. If we get 5 countries, send me 100 people, each is only for people. You get World Health Organization or PAHO to coordinate international assistance for us. You understand? So that is the next thing that I would do if I was the minister. So number 3, develop a treatment protocol. There is no treatment protocol. There is no standard. As a matter of fact, that should be number 1. I remember in 2014 when I was a drug rep at the time. Okay, when I was a drug rep at the time, there was a protocol developed for if Ebola should ever come here. If Ebola was still in Africa, but we developed a treatment protocol, not we, the ministry at the time, in case Ebola should happen. There needs to be the development of a treatment protocol for dengue, right? A standardized treatment protocol where, And number 4, the little isolation ward where we have in the hospital can't work. We have Chest Hospital up there. Why don't you convert Chest Hospital to one or St. Joseph's or one of these hospitals to one big dengue facility where people can go, they transfer them to, and then get isolated here. Right now, when you have these isolation, you have one isolation ward at Bustamante Hospital, and those same children have to go down to the lab every day to test blood and whatever, wherever. Then parents walking up and down. If mosquito bite them, and then go bite one next city and one next ward, what will happen?
Right. I feel you. I got you. I understand it. But a lot of people would think that you're speaking so passionately about what's not been done because of your political affiliation with the People's National Party and Labour right in there. I see you roll your eye again for me. Roll your eyes again. No, because but you are known comrade though.
I vex with PNP just as much as I vex with JP right now because as far as I'm concerned, I can't see where. How much you hear the PNP talking about this dengue thing? Seriously. Think about it. How much you hear them talking about it? Not much, huh? No.
Because you realize, hold on, Kamla. I'm happy that you brought that up because it's the same knife where stick sheep, sticky goat.
Exactly.
They all have the same agenda. So you realize that politics in Jamaica is not about being.
I tried that. I tried the politics. I genuinely want to make a difference in my country. I may try the politics route for about 10 years. I realize 10 years later, I said this don't make no sense. We need to move on to trying something else. Because only mad people try the same thing over and over and over. Right now, I'm tired of being mad. I try everything where politics is concerned. As far as I'm concerned, Jamaica needs to move away from looking at political solutions. We need to look at social solutions that impact us on our whole. And I'm tired of green and orange versus people hate me just because I'm a PNP.
Right. I get you.
Understand?
You know what's funny?
when I go to listen, I said to somebody when I go and give people papaya juice, I don't ask them who them vote for, you know. We just give them.
Right. Makes sense. And I like that. So you're not planning on turning this papaya leaf juice thing into a business?
No. First of all, let me put it out there. I already have a business, and in my business, I do these things. I have products that are. I'm not with papaya leaf, but the reason why it's so easy for me to do this is because I already have the facility to do it because I sell similar products without papaya leaf. You understand? But this is my contribution to blend up like a papaya leaf with water. How hard is that? You understand? When I remember when I was in the hospital, the last thing you're going to think about as a parent is, listen, I need to go find a papaya tree and pick. You can't do that when you're picking in a hospital. So how hard it is for you to just give something as basic as that to somebody who cannot do it for themselves at the time. And that's why I don't want people are thinking, oh, she's doing it for money. No, every single bottle I give is free. And I'm not gonna say people don't donate or contribute. Some people buy me bottles. People want to help. When people see somebody doing something good, them try and help, you know. Right. People buy me bottles. People buy somebody contributed all the labels because for it to look professional, it needs to be labeled. Somebody contributed 500 labels to me, and a graphic artist designed the labels for me free of cost because people just want to jump in and help. You understand? Every now and then we go, somebody say, oh, put some gas in your car, man. Fine, because I am still using all my resources. You understand?
Right, I get you.
And it's fine. This is my contribution. No, me not gonna say in the future after this whole dengue epidemic done, me not going to use papaya in a product and make money off it. That's what I do. That's what my company does. So in the future, yeah, I'm gonna do some more research, go to SRC and develop a product. You understand? Yeah, that's natural. You understand? But for right now, what I am doing, blending up the little papaya leaf and water, yeah, get out with free is not a big deal.
Right, because I think it hits home for you. It was right at your doorstep. In fact, in your house, because your kids, you back in the day, almost 20 years ago. So therefore, I can understand with that. You know what I mean? Kamla, thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure having you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And of course, keep the link and spread the love and keep doing what you're doing.
Definitely, right? I will.
And kind of ease up off of the labor right then, because they feel like you're being a little bit political.
The thing is, I am not attacking labor rights. I'm attacking their policy, the policy in how they're dealing with the health sector. If you look at me, I don't really talk about anything else. As a matter of fact, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. I wrote a book. Just when the minister came up with this whole sugar thing, the attack on sugar, I wrote a book, the sweetest conspiracy, right? The Great Sugar Dilemma. At the very same time, and I commended this man so much about what he was doing in terms of educating the population about the issues with sugar. And I mean, nobody had a problem with me then. So when I actually commend him, you don't hear about it.
But that's Jamaica, though. That's Jamaica. We focus mainly on the negatives, right? And we try to push and sweep under the rug the positives.
And first, when the minister is doing something good, I'm the first to commend him. And I did say that when he took on this whole fight against the sugar industry in terms of
the sugar intake.
Exactly, the sugar intake. I mean, I was right there with him. I was promoting it till all the people that I want let me switch. You understand? And I'm like, but if somebody is doing something that is good, and this is where politics in Jamaica needs to go, where we look at the policies and the issues and stop making it so personal. You understand? Too much personality. If the man is doing something good, commend it. If what he's doing not working, cut him off it. That me, I don't know. The sugar thing is good, but the dengue thing bad.
All right. Thank you, Kamla. I see that you're very passionate about it. And of course, I send love and light to you and your family and all the families across Jamaica who have been grappling with this epidemic. And of course, I hope that I don't even want to say I hope that the minister, because we all know what the agenda is, honestly, and we all know what will not happen and what will happen. But I hope that Jamaicans will be more proactive, and I hope that you'll be helping more families
so. I hope so.
Thank you. And I hope that the 5 million, well, how many counts of mosquitoes will help?
The million of mosquitoes. I hope they actually do their work without causing another problem. I'm just hoping.
All right. Thank you. All good. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening. All right. So that was Kamala Forbes, my very special guest right here on Val's Views Live. I appreciate her taking the time out to come on in and, of course, spread the word. A lot of people have been informed tonight. They have gotten a lot of information. And trust me, I've learned a lot tonight too. And it's not like it cannot happen to any family, because I do have family members in Jamaica that might just, you know what I mean, come down with that, and God forbid, you know what I mean, make the cross not bored as to what you'd say, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, people, we have to be proactive. And as my Bridget Charles said earlier, that no matter how we try, these mosquitoes will definitely penetrate the fabric of your clothing, and they'll probably still try to suck your blood, and you know, they'll just release this virus in your system. My Bridget Alex Frost, thanks for stopping by and giving me an update as to what's happening in New Haven with the recent pipe repairs for the sewage leakage that you guys have been, you know, battling with for the past few months. I thank you all. Thanks to my madam producer Shaki for always, you know, keeping me in check. Thanks to Kamala Forbes, the papaya leaf juice lady. Thanks to everyone that checked in tonight. This is your boy Anjuval. Thanks to Hype TV, How You Picture Entertainment. Remember, you can catch me right here on Val's Views Live, which is on my Facebook Live, and also if you're in Jamaica on Hype TV, How You Picture Entertainment, every Saturday night. I'm here to talk about some things that people don't really want to talk about. And I mean, that's just how I see it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just what it is, you know what I mean? And we just gotta speak the truth, and we're not trying to be partisan now. We're not trying to be all political now. And if the government not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, then I mean, call them out. And if they're doing what they're doing, then you don't need to call them out. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I understand that everyone, you know what I mean, we have our concerns, and we're supposed to kind of keep it at a level where we not try if it's a JLP or PMP, and that's it. As my Bridget Lester always say, we're too tribal. If it's not JLP, if it's PMP. When PMP in a power, the JLP them have a problem. When JLP in a power, the PMP them have a problem. Comrades and labor rights and all of that. At the end of the day, Jamaicans are dying. I'm sure that when them suck out the blood is kind of red. No pun intended. But I'm just sure that these mosquitoes not wearing orange or green. Straight up. You know what I mean? Could be a bigger issue that we can't really deal with right now, and I don't want to speak on that now, but probably in another show we'll touch on that. Thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight, gave your 2 cents, gave your feedback, drop your comments. All my people from St. Lucia, Germany, the United States, in Florida, Jamaica, my Cubans who have been watching in, send some help. Jamaica, we need it. On behalf of the production crew here, my boy, you don't know, big respect. Thanks to my madam producer again, Shaki. I'm Anjuval saying peace. We're out of here. Catch y'all next week, same time. I think I'm gonna have a show next week. Of course, you don't know. As I say, happy holidays, enjoy the new year, and of course, catch y'all on the other side of 2020. I'm your boy Anjuval saying peace. I'm out of here.
And watching what you're doing right now, you are making deposits in their lives, in their mind.
Over in Jamaica, we know to be seen in a very negative light.
So I was doing readings for people, cleansing people's houses, and just taking out all these energies, not understanding about crystals and protecting yourself and all of these things.
I don't give blame to the government no more. I don't give blame to the white man no more. I give blame to I who have the ability.
Myself, me.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
We're too tribal. And because of the size of our population, we're very tribal. So it's either GLP or PMP.
Decades and decades of underdevelopment and stagnation Jamaica experience just because of some licky politicians on the 2 sides there.
This is Val Views Live. This is my views, not necessarily that of Hype TV or of Facebook. But guess what? I'm happy that I have the opportunity to express myself in this manner.